The idea to remake Mad World came about one night. I was just practicing piano, and I just started to kind of play the Gary Jules version of the song, which has this beautiful piano melody. So I jumped online and worked out the rest of the song. After playing it a few times, I sort of started to hear this version in my head where it was sort of, the song would pick up, and basically in the second half we kind of launched into quite a rockier version of it. So I kind of started to play around with some ideas. Song, like lyrically and musically, has, the Gary Jules version in particular has quite a sadness to it, but there's also quite an innocence in that melody. So I tried to create this piano sound that would capture that, and then from there I kind of started to work in some kind of more electronic industrial concepts with some kind of glitch elements, and created this version. And I basically sat on my computer for probably 2 months, didn't listen to it again, and then I went back to it, checked it out, and decided it wasn't too bad. So I put it online, and put a call out for any vocalists who might be interested to get in touch with me, because it just felt like it needed vocals to elevate it to that next level, and just really just bring it all together.
Why remake Mad World? You know, the song is almost prophetic. It's disturbing when you look at the lyrics, and that's a sign of a good song, right? When a song is written well, it doesn't become dated. There are no lyrics in there that let people say, oh well, this is, you know, from the 60s or from the 70s, and this song, you know, it just is so relevant right now, even though it was written in the 80s. Why not? When music is that powerful, and that well written, I think it deserves a longer life than just one generation. So why not pass it on and move it from generation to generation, with a different meaning or interpretation? When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad
Some things in this world are better left within lie.
After I put the song on SoundCloud, Sean commented on it and said that he felt it was one of the best versions of the song he'd heard, which it meant a lot to me, because I'm a big fan of his work, and he is one of the reasons that I actually got into trying to make music as a solo artist. So for sort of one of your idols to comment on something you've done, it's an amazing feeling. And then a few months later, he actually commented again and said, have you got somebody to do vocals for this song yet? And I sort of said no, and he was really keen to do them, so I was stoked.
What Scott did with Fake Empire, he just took it way to a different level. Really creative with the way that he laid it out, the instrumentation, the glitch, and it took on this whole new meaning. In fact, check it out if you get a chance. His original, I believe, is still uploaded on the Fake Empire SoundCloud, and it's worth a listen, because it's before I kind of got my hands on it and twisted it a little more, even with some of the guitars and vocals and everything. The song has a very different meaning, and it haunted me. It really, really connected with it, and I'm like, wow. I said to myself, you know, if I were going to do this song, that's how I would do it. And so, interestingly enough, underneath in the comments section, he had said something to the extent of, you know, hey, if anybody wants to do vocals, it'd be really cool to finish this off, which was funny because I was listening to it as a finished piece. His piano really kind of replaced the vocals. But I thought about it, and I thought, okay, I'm game. I think, you know, this is something really promising. It'd be really cool to work with him. So let's do this. And so, you know, I shot him a note on SoundCloud, and, you know, oddly enough, he was a little surprised that I had contacted him and said I want to work on this. He shouldn't have been. It's a brilliant piece of music. He did an amazing job with it. And so he agreed. He said, yeah, let's do this. And we took some time going back and forth on vision, you know, what it meant to him. and what it meant to me. And you know, through the magic of the interwebs, we went ahead and made it happen. Passed stems back and forth. You know, I laid down vocals, did some guitar work, and a few other things. Tried to leave the integrity of his original work intact. He had full input on everything, and before we knew it, it was done. We were both happy with it. Like, okay, let's push this out there.
Met Sean probably about 12 months ago. Like I said, I was a fan of File Transfer Protocol. He had a t-shirt design competition that I entered. I did a spectrogram analysis of the Singularity, and he really liked the design, and we kind of struck up a friendship from there. We'd just kind of comment on each other's photos and music. I'd hit him up for advice every now and then about which microphones I should be using, and yeah, from there we just kept in touch, and then the opportunity to work with him came up, and absolutely jumped at the chance.
We did this t-shirt contest, and really good stuff was coming in. Really cool concepts, designs, a lot of originality and everything. But there was this one came in that just, it took it for me. It was like, okay, this is really something special, really creative. It frankly, at the time, I remember saying to myself, I'm like, this is a pro. This is somebody who does this for a living. This is professionally done, and the design was really cool. It was this. It was a spectrogram of the song, The Singularity. So it was a layout of the sound waves where, if you actually had the right software, you could basically take a picture of this T-shirt and it would play the song back. And then, you know, had a QR code on it that took it to the song. There were all these elements that kind of tied in with what the Singularity is about. There was an irony to it. I loved it. And so it won, and it was a gentleman from New Zealand, actually. His name was Scott Brown. And, you know, had a quick conversation with him. He was really cool, really upbeat, real supportive of the work that I was doing. And so, you know, like a lot of people that I chat with online, I mean, we connect, right? So over time, he and I connected on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and through Instagram started seeing this work that he was doing. And earlier when I said, yeah, he's a professional, well, he is. He's a creative director. And his work shows it. He does a lot of amazing stuff on his site. You know, on Instagram, his glitch stuff. There are a lot of things that I really like. And so we just kind of followed each other. Why collaborate? Short answer on this, you know, as far as the macro focus, well, he did a great job with the song, and it was something that I really wanted to get in on, frankly, and he let me. So yeah, a great guy to work with.
When you write songs as a solo artist, you can become very stuck in the process, and sometimes you just can't see how these songs can kind of expand or finish, or some sections you just kind of will get stuck on, and ideas will get sidelined. So, you know, working with somebody else is a fantastic way just to really challenge yourself and push yourself outside of that sort of box that you can really get stuck in.
It expands you, right? When you can get lost in your own universe quickly, when you have full creative control and you don't have to bounce it off anybody, and you're just going to release it, and the only people you're accountable to are the people who are listening to it, it can twist you a little bit.
My favorite groups, like Massive Attack, have more of a collaborative approach to writing music, where there's kind of one or two core members, and they'll bring in vocalists or musicians to work on different songs. To me, this always seemed like a really great way to work. Being a solo artist it's an amazing way to work, but it's also it's a very lonely process. You know, there's times when it's 1 a.m. and you've been working on the same part of a song for 2 hours and you just can't quite get it right. It'd be nice to be able to turn to somebody and say, you know, what do you think? Where should we take this? So it was great to actually get to experience working with someone, and someone like Sean, who has so much experience and has produced such great music. It was an opportunity to sort of not only work with one of my idols, but also to learn a lot from him. Sean and I are both very much on the same page when it comes to uploading music for free. Creatively, I'm not in it to make money. I don't think Sean is either. We just basically, music for us is about passion, and if we can share that with people, then it's all the better.
Why is it free? Well, as you know, most of my releases end up being free. You know, Scott and I talked about this one. We said, how do we want to do this? And the short answer, I mean, it's not ours, right? We didn't write the song. All we did was take our spin on it and kind of turn it into what it is. But I think it's more important to kind of get the messaging out there. I'll spare you my beliefs on copyright and DRM and everything like that, and take more of a realist approach to it. I mean, you're going to put it out there, it's going to be out there, it's going to go, and if it's good, people are going to copy it, and they're going to do what they want with it. And from my standpoint, I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. It's I think the music industry is changing right now. And I think it could be for the better. I think the big old dinosaurs are finally dying. The comet hit, and it was called Napster. The clouded skies, the fuzzy mammals are managing to find food, and the big dinosaurs are starving to death. And good. I'm happy to see that. I'd like to see them go away, and the music industry get back to being about the artists, and not about the multi-billion-dollar publishers who are buying everything up and locking everything down. I think there's a better way. So that's at least my standpoint. You know, like I said, I can't speak for Scott. I think he has his views as well. But from my standpoint, I said, hey, you know, let's just put this one out there. He's like, yeah, and so we did.
One of the most amazing things about the internet is the fact that not only can you collaborate with somebody on the other side of the world, you then get to share the results of what you've created with the world. And it's fascinating to see how different people in different countries react to the song. Sean's one of these great vocalists that will lock himself away and basically embed himself in the song, work out kind of how it's relevant to his own life and the greater audience. And he did an amazing job with this song. He kind of, the more he sang it, the more he could sort of see how it was relevant to these horrible school shootings that were happening in America at the time. And the song, like I mentioned before, has that sort of innocence to it, and it just sort of seemed to come together nicely.
Mad World, what's it about? Okay, so it's about what you want it to be about. I hate when people kind of spell out and spoon feed with a song like, oh, it's absolutely about this, because I think that robs the end user, the person who's listening to it, it means something different to everybody who listens to it. And why would I take that away from anyone? I will talk a little bit about some of the inspiration. I think that's fair game. How it started, and where it ended up. It was kind of a musical journey, but it is how you perceive it. How anyone listens to it and perceives it, that's what it is. The inspiration originally, and I won't go too much into what it meant to Scott, because he obviously he can talk about that on his own. But it had a fairly deep-seated meaning to him that I connected with, just on kind of where the world's gone. We run in circles, and it's nuts, right? Are we really living, or are we just consuming? Are we just going to work to feed this big machine and buy the latest and greatest gadgets so some multi-billionaire can buy another yacht? It's getting a little crazy out there. But in the process of going back and forth and kind of working on this, the Newtown shootings happened, and that had an effect. I'm not going to get into the whole gun control debate and everything like that. I'll leave that for the politicians and TV talk show hosts. But it had a deep-seated effect on me, and from my standpoint, more so, why? Why are we seeing more and more of this, right? Like, it's cool, it's acceptable to kill children in schools, Columbine, right? Oslo. What happened in Oslo? In the States, nobody really knows about that, which is horrifying to me. We need to be more globally aware. But Oslo, the guy dressed as a cop rounded the kids up and took them all down. If that's not mad, I don't know what is. And so when everything kind of happened with the Newtown shootings, it all started to come together for me, and the lyrics eerily fit. If you go through the lyrics and you talk about, the student saying, "Teacher, won't you look right through me?" And the demands, like, something's wrong in the way that we're approaching things. And I don't want to preach. I'm not going to get involved with that. It is what it is. But at the same time, there's something quite obviously broken, and the world has gone mad, and we're seeing more and more of it. And so it got very personal for me. A lot of emotion went into it, and it was captured in the recording process. It's probably about midway through when I started working on the samples and sampling Oslo and Columbine and the Batman shooter, Colorado, and of course the Newtown, that teacher at the end talking about, we're just waiting for the good guys. I think we're all kind of waiting for the good guys at this point. And the people who we used to think were the good guys, they're not anymore. That's all I'm really going to say about that. But that's the inspiration behind it. How people take that and where they go with it. That's what it is.
In terms of future collaborations, we've talked about it. We're both quite keen to work on some original material together. We both kind of have this evolving love of video and how design and art and video can kind of integrate with music. So there's kind of some exciting opportunities to explore what we could both do there.
In the future? Oh yeah. Yeah. I could see good work coming out of collaboration with Fake Empire. This whole project turned around quickly. It really was a couple of weeks, maybe 2-3 weeks, something like that. From start to finish, it was just, he Scott has a work ethic. He's got that same. He's used to being creative on a time frame. I think that's obvious from how fast some of the artwork turned around. And I don't think this is done yet. There's, obviously many more things that could come out of this. Well, let's just leave it at that and see what happens. But yeah, we'll be working together in the future.